Hi people, how's it going? Oh, I could turn this off because we're not going to be fighting for a while. What are we doing today? We are in camp, so we're going to be talking to people. Let us see what we got. I don't think we got anything new. Alright. Oh yeah, it's right click. Oh hey, here they are.
It's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick, at your service once again. I saw your camp and thought to myself, what safer place to rest for the evening than in the camp of a Grey Warden? I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
Hell yeah! What are you selling?
Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. And my boy Sandal happens to be a bit of a hand with enchantments. Oh, yes. Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If there were spare hands to hire as guards, I would have done so long ago.
Okay, well let me see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Discount! Oh! Hey! That's enchantable. Look at all this stuff. Increases monetary gain? Oh, there we go. Warrior Rogue. Ah, Tome of Arcane Techniques. There we go. Backpack. Backpack means more carrying capacity. You don't have any recipes. Okay. Well, the backpack was quite worth it. Enchantment.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
What enchantments does he do?
He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment.
And there you have it.
Oh boy, let's do some enchanting.
Enchantment.
That. Ah, crap. I didn't.
Enchantment.
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 Enchantment. Well, it will cut down my carrying capacity a bit. Because I'm not carrying those runes. Those runes are on the sword, but I'm carrying the sword, so... I've knocked out 2 bits. And now... this guy.
You're a hard woman to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
You knew Duncan?
Oh, yes, for years. Considered him a friend, I did. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise did he make?
My family... well, past is a bit checkered, to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden Commander of Fereldan back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
What happened?
Hard to say. After King Arland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
So what favor did you ask?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
I never heard of it.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
How would reclaiming it help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Probably a bunch of fucking dead people. Okay, what do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it, at least?
Yeah, I'll help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map.
Nice.
When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Awesome. Alright. Now, we get to talk to people. Well, first. Soldier's Peak. King's Confident. Now, the reason why Soldier's Peak is good to do is you get a place to store shit. That's all. Alright, I'm going to save again. Because now we get to talk to people. And, well, Dord's not going to be so bad. You harassing my dog?
Me? Harassing your dog? I should say it's the other way round. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me. Look.
Well, he is a war dog.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
How would you like it if people come up and mess with your food?
I once heard a really old legend about how the hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh. Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
Hey! Don't scare my dog.
Hey!
Leliana.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
About this vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
What then?
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rosebush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
Well, the Chantry says the Maker left us.
He's still here. I hear him in the wind and the waves. I feel him in the sunlight that warms my skin. I know what the Chantry says about the Maker, and what should I believe? What I feel in my heart, or what others tell me?
Well, you believe what feels right to you.
Thank you. It's nice to find someone who agrees. I know what I know, and no one will ever make that untrue.
Leliana approves.
Yes?
Talk.
Well, here I am.
What was life like in the Chantry?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Yeah, they tend to be self-righteous. No, that's why I'm not particularly fond of them.
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
What did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the Chantry says, and the Chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Okay, cool. Alright. Here's a toughie. Sten. We should be able to win him over.
Why are we stopping?
Let's get a few things straight.
There are Darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
I need to know if I can trust you.
I am Kunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises.
Alright. Well, you said you were in the army.
I am.
Why did your people send soldiers here?
The Antam are the eyes, hands, and mouth of the Kunari. We are how my people know the world.
Alright, well tell me about your people.
No.
Why not?
People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
That's hostile.
Many humans have said that to me. I do not understand it. If I were indeed hostile, you would be bleeding.
So this is you being helpful.
Couldn't you tell?
You know what? You just follow orders.
As you wish. Yes.
Can we talk to you about anything else? I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why did you come here?
To answer a question.
Okay, what was the answer?
Were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Well, don't you have to report back?
Yes.
Alright, when are you gonna do it?
Never. I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
What are you doing in the cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
Hey, cute, you're the silent type.
Your grasp of the obvious is remarkable.
You don't like me, do you?
Warden, if I truly disliked you, I would leave. That I am still here, you may interpret however you choose.
You gonna answer my question?
I did. Parshera, was there anything else?
Alright, let's
As you
go.
wish.
Alright, we did pretty damn good. I will accept that, Alistair.
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
Well, I thought maybe you needed to talk.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
What about the other Grey Wardens?
I don't know. I have no idea what the Grey Wardens do for their... when they fall in battle. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
I know what you're going through.
Yes, I imagine you really have, haven't you? Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Alright, anytime. Nice. No, I don't want to be like there. There we go. Alright. Talk.
What do you need?
Talk.
Ask away.
So, about Archdemon.
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfels. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
That would explain the breath as well.
And my table manners, too. Though, come to think of it, they weren't all that different from the other Templars. Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
Yeah, she would totally do it. Only the ones who were making love in my tent.
I think I completely lost my chain of thought. Oh, there it is. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Archdemon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
So, do you know who your father is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Archdemon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Well, you're probably luckier than most orphans.
I suppose you're right. I wasn't raised as the Arl's son, though, if you're picturing that. I slept in hay, out in the stables, not on silk sheets. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
Well, you were young. We've all done stupid shit.
And raised my dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Nice. Alright, do we have time? We got time for a little Morrigan talk.
What do you wish of me?
Talk?
If you must.
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
Human.
Oh, she certainly was human. Once. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Alright.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago was
Many
this?
centuries, before this land was even named Fereldan. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
Flemeth must have been... Bleh! Flemeth must have been pissed.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have
Okay.
been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess.
Oh, God.
Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So was it spirits or demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which? That she didn't invade, or that she wasn't defeated?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
How is it that she survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Well, the legend says she has a lot of daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds, after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
It's interesting, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
Well, I loved her. What else do you want to know?
Nothing. I wish to know nothing more. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on.
Yeah. Let's check how we're doing. Still neutral. Click. She's a big sweetie. Dorn loves me. Anyway. So, there we go. I don't know what we're going to do next time. We may continue to talk. We may go off on an adventure. But you'll have to tune in to find out. I will see you.